Well, hello there and welcome back to another video of me, Zenzul. And today we're going to have a bit of priest PvP, but something with a little bit of a twist. As a test, we're going to not use our Void Eruption. So obviously we're going to go into void form, see what happens, see if it gimps our damage. You know, let's have a look. Let's see what everyone's talking about. Shame that you can't use the mechanic that's your meat and potatoes to actually do what it should be doing. Now, obviously, you get that 20% less damage. You take 20% less damage, so that's all good. But is that the way it should be working? I think not, Blizzard. Roll the intro. Right, so here we are in the BG, as my previous self said. We're running this without using Void Eruption. I've already recorded this once, and then I forgot that I had my mic off. So, oh god! And I put a lot of passion into that video. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, I'm on my Shadow Priest Rasta. We're in AB, fighting for the Alliance against the Horde. And yeah, so this is, as I said previously, this is just me trying to use, not use Void Eruption. So I'm going to obviously get to my get my void out and try and see if I can do some decent DPS and it doesn't gimp my damage that much. But it's a good little tester to see what's going on with this, because obviously there's a few PvPers that are not using this. They're not using their void form eruptions procs, as it were, and they're just sort of trying to use the spec and obviously keep, once you're over 60% insanity, you can stay pretty much in void form most of the time, and with that you get obviously 20%, you take 20% less damage, which is really cool. But it's just a shame that you have to negate the mechanic that's supposed to be the core of the spec. And yeah, it's a little bit worrying if that's the case and that's the way you have to go with it. So obviously we've just taken Lumber Mill. It's a pretty good little battle there, and going to be the first part of this battle. I found myself in situations. I'm sure you've all had this, where you go to a certain node, and then you know you go there with a certain amount of people, and all of a sudden they melt away, and you're just like standing there going, "Oh shit, I'm a Shadow Priest. I'm in trouble here." And happened in certain parts of this video, in this BG, certainly the beginning of it, and yeah, I found myself in a bit of trouble quite a few times. And obviously, melee see a Shadow Priest and think, din-dins. So I've got this warrior on my case, Hurricane. I love your name, man. Cool. Kudos to you. I'm getting down with warrior names. So my last one I was in there, I can't remember what the fella's name. Blade Man or something. That was quite a cool name. I just thought it sort of goes well with the class. Yeah, so trying to sort of get out of the way of that rubbish, because obviously that's not good on your head. Thinking, right, okay, let's see if we can stay out of the way of the damage guys coming in, smacking my head. I wanted to take on this Ret Pally. I thought I could get a nice one-on-one with this Ret Pally here. He's got wings up, so stay out of the way, stay out of the way, stay out of the way, Zens. And yeah, it's quite a good little battle. I thought, I've got you here, mate. I've got you here, got you here. Wings are gone. And yeah, all of a sudden I get ganked by this Demon Hunter. It's very difficult to get a nice one-on-one in a BG. Knew I was going down here, so I'm thinking, right, okay, come on. Let's just get some Shadow Word Pains out and go down fighting, because that's important in a BG. You know, it always makes me. I can't understand people when they're in BGs and they're scared of dying. I mean, that's the game, man. How many thousands and I've been playing my Shadow Priest for 14 years. How many thousands of times have I died on my Shadow Priest? Quite a few, I'd say. And touching on that, I have played my Shadow Priest for 14 years, and obviously people watching this play Shadow Priests, and I've always loved playing Shadow Priest, always will love Shadow Priest, but this latest iteration of the Shadow Priest is... I mean, I know they're saying they're going to do something about it in 8.1, but for me that's pretty disgusting that a spec comes out half finished. In the old days, I mean, Blizzard have always had their problems, but they would never have released the next pack with a class in such a bad state. Now, I'm not knocking the damage. I mean, you know, we could get out big damage. That's not the issue. The damage isn't the issue. Defensives is obviously an issue, and the fact that your core mechanic of your spec, here's a situation here where I thought I was going to be, a few of our guys are here, might help out, and then all of a sudden, bam. Yeah, so the core mechanic that you've got, which is obviously building up insanity to reach void form, the spec is better if you don't actually use it. And fundamentally, that is just not right, is it? Nice 5-second kidney there. Thanks for that. Yeah, so I was just trying to help this base. I think we do lose it at the moment. I think we've got 2 bases and they got 3, maybe 4. Yeah, so so obviously the core mechanic is your insanity, and that obviously you build up. And I don't know, man. I just like the shadow orbs. What was that? Mop? Was it? We had shadow orbs. Was it WOD? I don't know. I remember we had shadow orbs anyway, and I quite like the shadow orbs. Thought it was a pretty good mechanic, but this insanity thing's just not working. I think fundamentally at its core, it's quite a good like iteration of the class and quite good fun. But the way it's set up and the way, you know, you have to circumvent the core mechanic to actually play the game to any kind of degree where you can actually stay alive for a bit longer. It's not right. It's not right at all. But I've got a video coming out probably tomorrow or Sunday, just going over it. I'm not a negative person towards Warcraft. I try not to be anyway. And but obviously I do this YouTube channel, and I just want to give my 2 pennies worth of what I think of BFA. Because you can turn around and go, oh, this is bollocks after 2 weeks, but it's been a good couple of months now, and obviously we're probably going into what, the 3rd month of this. Maybe a bit less, I don't know. And yeah, I kind of enjoy every X pack. I always find something within the X pack to enjoy. It's always PvP wise, but a certain class I'll enjoy playing, or a certain spec of a class I'll enjoy playing. And yeah, I seem to get my builds down pretty quick and enjoy that. And then I found with this expansion, I've struggled a little bit with that. I'll also be talking about what I think of PvP and Azeroth traits and stuff like that. So keep an eye out for that video, probably coming out this weekend. Got a little bit of editing to do. I've got a week off as well, so hopefully I can put a bit more time into my channel, which I haven't really been able to do. Again, I've got 2 melee on me. I've got nothing. I've got nothing. Really, I'm just sort of trying to stay out of the way of everyone. Thought, all right, I'm going to die. I'm going to die, definitely die. Again, I'm in the same situation. Let's get some Shadow Word Pains out and go down fighting. Because even as a Shadow Priest, you can always go down fighting. And you got the Flavour of the Month enhancement shame on your face there, but it is what it is. Yeah, I think he even popped Bloodlust for that, so kudos, mate. Congratulations. So at this moment, I joined this BG a little bit late, so I missed the first initial fight per se. So I was a little bit gutted about that, but yeah, it is what it is. But we're winning this, I think, by 300 at the moment. I think we've got 3 or 4 bases. I think 3 bases. So yeah, if I've been struggling on my alliance character to try and get wins in BGs. Not that I'm really that bothered when it's at low level. I'm just trying to sort of play around the spec and stuff like that. And obviously with this, it really is just a test BG to see what I think without Void Eruption. Obviously you try and get to get your insanity above 60 as quickly as you possibly can, and then you can start doing some deeps and obviously not use your Void Eruption. And that's the point of this exercise. A Void Eruption. You see what I did there? It's quite clever, right? Yeah. Said no one ever. But yeah, so it was kind of the damage was okay. As I've stated many of my videos, I don't sit here and play 10 BGs in a row on my Shadow Priest and go, right, cherry pick the best one. This was literally me just getting in, playing a BG and seeing what I thought of it. Working on this warrior, they were all going down pretty quick here, I think, and yeah, I like Hurricane. I like the fact he's a Tauren warrior. That's very vanilla, very vanilla. I see this little Shadow Priest over here trying to stay out of the way, but I see you, man, shaking that ass, shaking that ass. I see you, pins, little bin. Yeah, you're not gonna get past this canny eye, even though this eye's really crap, but this eye's not too bad. So he silenced me, get the dots up, get a Mind Blast up, Mind Flay him down, and I think my my fellow colleagues, my fellow warriors in battle, managed to get him down. So I've got Mailman on my face. He gets turtled by this Fire Mage, and he gets a nice Greater Pyroblast on his head from this Fire Mage, if I remember rightly, which is quite cool. Half health, watch this, half health, boom. Fair play to you, mate. Little gnome fella. Did well there. So yeah, I've kind of not been around too much lately, and I keep saying that, I keep reiterating the same point, but I really just haven't had the time. I've been going to work at 4 o'clock in the morning and getting home, I think, you know, I'm too tired to do anything, let alone play Warcraft or make Warcraft videos. I've really been working hard on my Warlock when I have been playing, and doing a little bit of leveling on my Magha Orc. Yeah, thank you for the comment I got, which was telling me that they're not Magyars. I know they're not Magyars, but where I come from, my dialect in England, we don't pronounce our H's a lot of the time, so we say house instead of house. So I call them Magyars because I'm not thinking it's Hungary or anything like that. I'm just Magyars because I don't say any H's. That's the way we speak in my it's like the thing with English people. If you've ever seen a film called Snatch, where the American guy's talking, "Oh, I'll come to England," and no one actually speaks the language. It's kind of true. We have very strange dialects. So I think I'm about 6th, 7th in the damage, which for me in a random BG is not great. But obviously we're not using the Void Eruption, and I didn't have a particularly good start to the BG. I kind of found myself out of the loop and dying quite often due to the fact that, well, I could think you put it 50-50 down. Maybe my positioning wasn't great, but also I just sort of chose the wrong battles, to be honest. I chose the wrong fights, and that happens sometimes. You just get on with it. I liked this monk here, Shocking Fire. He was great. We have a little tete-to-tete later in this BG with a couple of warriors and a couple of our players. It's quite a good little battle, but we'll get to that. Yeah, so going into the weekend, there will be, as I said, this nice little video that I'm putting together, and hopefully next week I'm going to get some plenty of content out on the channel. I'm trying to do more videos. It's not a case I'm sitting there going, "Oh, I'm lazy, I can't do this." It's just I really haven't had the time and inclination to get around to it. And yeah, when that happens, then I just sort of go, right, well, you know, my health and my life are a little bit more important than Warcraft sometimes. And that's not to say that Warcraft isn't a big part of my life, because it is. But this is the battle I was talking about. It's good fun. I think there was 3 of us and 3 of them. So you had the 2 warriors, Hurricane and Mailman. And they had then the Shocking Fire comes up, the monk. So we're thinking, right, okay, obviously Horde at the moment have got this node. We get Hurricane down and we're made up, you know, we're sorted. And then all of a sudden the monk turns up, and he does well here. Fair play to him. He puts Ring of Peace down so we can't get to the flag. Plays a good little, plays his card quite well there. And of course, he's just sort of keeping us away and surviving and keeping his health up and just trying to stay alive. And then of course in the background there, the 2 warriors are back, and yeah, so we're trying to get all 3 of them down again. And I think, all right, come on lads, just can we work on the healer please? And yeah, that one of our guys goes down, but another one of our guys turns up. Then the Fire Mage turns up, so I think now we're 4-2. And the monk's down, he's dead. So I think, right, okay, we've got this now. Get on Hurricane, boom, Hurricane's nearly dead. Oh no, he's back again. Shocking Fire's back again. And that's a good little battle. I quite like these. You know, it's quite frustrating, but at the same time, it's good when you have a good little fight between 6 or 7 players. It's all good fun, and obviously it makes it. I don't know. It just gives you a little bit more enjoyment in the BG rather than just zerging around with 10 players. It bores me shitless, to be honest. And yeah, so we're in here trying to get Shocking Fire back down. Luckily, the lads all went for him rather than sort of just whacking on the DPS, going, "Why isn't his health going down when that monk's free casting behind them?" Yeah, there goes Hurricane again. Got a nice killing blow on him. Mailman's back. Can't cast Vampiric Touch because a lot of the time when you find yourself not being able to cast Vampiric Touch, just get your Shadow Word Pain up. That's the most important thing. Everything else is secondary to that. Once you got your dot up, then that's all good, and you can work from that point. So yeah, we managed at last, I think, to take this base. A couple of Shadow Mens, and I think I jump down to mid now. So at this point here, we're about 200 points up, so we're nearly at 1360 there at 1150. So it's quite a close game, and obviously with playing an alliance player at this level, I've struggled to get some wins. So it was quite a nice little point to get a victory, which is all good. So now we're just working on these guys. This other monk wasn't as good as Shocking Fire, so I just sort of knew that was the case. So you kind of get a sixth sense for that sometimes. Obviously, that sometimes one guy is better than another, even though they play the same class. And I think Perfius, he's doing his bit, but maybe just not as canny as Shocking Fire was. Good little battle here as well. So again, it's probably about 4 on 4. Yeah, I think it was 4 on 4. So again, another little battle. Obviously, as you can see at the bottom here, I've put it in a massive icon so you can see that my void form is active. But yet again, like in this situation here, normally I'd just go straight to my Void Eruption, but I didn't want to do that. I'm a Voiding Eruption. I just wanted to test out and just see what happens when you don't use it at all. There are situations when, of course, you should use it. It's not a case of I'm not using it to prove a. Well, I'm using it. I'm not using it to prove a point, but you know what I mean. It's kind of like, well, yeah, that's fine, but there are situations, of course, you should be using it. It's not a case, well, don't ever use it. But you know, I think when you definitely get a kill and then you're not going to get trained, then use it. But there it is. I mean, the damage was okay. I think I got, what, 1.5 mil, and the top one was 1.8. So not too bad considering I didn't use Void Eruption. But yeah, a nice little test. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, click the little bell for receive notifications. Nice big thumbs up for the video. And why not subscribe to the channel?